Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and today on the HermitCraft server, we are projecting onto our screen our backbox warning. Okay, well, it's hard to see that during the day, but basically, it lets people know not to rotate the machine. Wait, what is that noise? Hello? Did you hear that? I just heard a horn. Scar, is that you? Hey, there he is.
Oh, Joe, I've got a horn, and guess what?
What?
I've got one for you.
What?
There you go, Joe. I got two. Yeah. There you go.
I thought you were setting up for a pun, like we're about to have a good time with ska or something, because your ska bands have horns.
No. Look at these frog lights. Wow, these are cool.
Yeah. You know what? I've got some extra, and since you just brought me a horn, how would you like some pearlescent frog lights? I don't have a ton, but, just as accents for whatever you're working on. Whoops, there you are.
Oh, why, thank you.
Enjoy. Yeah, I've been playing around with the tadpoles and frogs, and I've been having a great time. Do you mind if I give this goat horn a quick toot?
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Which one do you have? Which one should I give you?
Give it
a shoot. Yeah, shoot it off.
Ooh, I love it.
These are the normal ones. I haven't found a screaming goat to get the really weird ones yet. So.
Oh, is that how you get the weird ones? Yeah, because I heard ones like the THX sound, and since I got this huge movie screen here, I was thinking that might be fun for before I show footage on the screen.
Oh wow, this voice chat is really messed up.
Oh, do you need a second?
Well, I guess I'm gonna go delete this mod folder Office Space style, and I will see you later. Joe, goodbye.
Bye, Scar. Thank you. I still haven't seen Office Space. Don't tell Scar. Anyway, bye, Scar. Let's blow this horn. Oh, that's so fun. Okay. Oh, I was gonna blow it again, but it has a cooldown. Fantastic. Okay. So this episode, one of the big things we need to do, you might be looking at this big gap in the back wall here of the back box and going like, Joe, what you got planned for that? Well, I was thinking of putting in a proper warning label like you would have on the back of a pinball machine back box that says like, hey, make sure to fold this down properly and secure it when you're transporting the machine or you'll damage it. And in order to do that, I need to mix a bunch of concrete. Well, let me tell you, concrete mixing, well, that's not super easy. You got to have a whole thing for that. You got to build a concrete powder hydrating system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to build a 119 only hydrating system for concrete. Super compact. Everybody loves those compact builds. So why don't we just roll down here and we'll just find a nice place to set it up. I realized I didn't bring any concrete with me. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So, basically, we can just stand here and then put... that's the wrong block. Don't want that. You don't want to have a block that breaks easily from a pickaxe, right? See how slowly the mud breaks from the pickaxe? That's a perfect block to have in the back of your concrete thing. Now... the water will just channel in from the mud blocks on the side here, and then we'll make concrete powder into concrete. So as you can see, that missing rectangle chunk there is pretty huge. It's about 52 blocks wide and 30 or 40 something tall. It's up there. So we're going to need to mix a lot of concrete powder here. Now the way we do that, we get our pickaxe in one hand, we have our offhand fill the concrete powder, and then we can just do this. You just hold down both buttons on your mouse, and you stand here. And you might say, Joe, shouldn't you have some sort of automated hopper-based system that throws new blocks at you or stuff like that? It's like, well, that'd be true if we were using an auto clicker or something. But, I'm an adult who sits and looks at computers while holding down multiple buttons simultaneously for extended periods of time. I don't need, baby stuff like that. I can swim out in the ocean and get my rapidly drifting away concrete before the dolphins do. On On that note, though, actually, maybe moving this somewhere slightly better would be beneficial, where the stuff doesn't entirely drift off to sea, like a small pond or something. So we're going to go ahead and find a slightly better location for this, and then make up a whole bunch of concrete powder for our label. Time skip! I put our concrete mixer to good use to make a little bit of solid concrete, but what I realized is most of this is actually kind of easy to gravity feed. If I work my way up from the bottom, most of this doesn't actually have to be wet into concrete yet. So we'll go ahead and get the whole thing in and then wetten it. However, it's hard to put the whole thing in when we don't have enough kind of black dye to really finish this out. Look at this. We're almost to the top. We got to write the word caution, and then we're on to the second label. But good for us, good for HermitCraft. Impulse SV has a Wither Road stock in his shop. And hey, our stock we've been selling too. We sold 9 diamonds worth of tadpoles since the last episode. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of those, reinvest them in Impulse's Wither Roses. I don't know how much the Wither Roses cost, so let's go find out. Time skip. Well, folks, we have explored all of Impulse's shop here, and I gotta tell you, I think whatever pop-up deal he might have had for Wither Roses has expired, but it's a holiday weekend, so I can't track him down for barter. And I did find back here behind the counter, well, like extra behind the counter, this near-complete stack of Wither Roses. I don't know. I feel like if I leave him 2 diamonds for that with a little note, I didn't sign the note, but I'll send him a Discord message. I took those Wither Roses from Impulse, and I placed all the blocks. I have flown away. Now I need to fly back and glance for the first time at the completed lower caution label. Okay. I think we basically nailed it. Except for there is a block missing, like literally, like when I said completed, I wanted it to be like all the blocks are in there, and not all the blocks are. So let's just scaffold up here real quick. Boop. Okay. Yeah. I think that this should work. We still need to actually take our bucket now and pour water over the back of it. Now the water will just flow all the way down along the concrete powder there, as long as I don't leave any gaps, like this one. I think somebody's making goat horn noises. Hey, Scar! What you doing? Hey, buddy. You having fun with your horn? It's hard to fly in range of you while we're doing this. I'm gonna die. Please land. Please land on the... Oh, come on. If you're ever curious what a HermitCraft meeting is like, imagine 25 people flying toward each other and then missing the point of whatever each other are trying to say for several hours. This is... Part of me is just like, wow, I can't believe we're this uncoordinated, but I'm like, wow, but we practice so often. How could we not be? Y'all, I am so excited. Look at this. Look at this. But you know what? The thing is, sometimes even when you have something that you think looks perfect, you think it looks amazing, there's like little details that bother you. Like, how come when I look through the telescope, my hotbar zooms in with it? Look at that. Ah! Now, I can turn off the overlay entirely, which kind of is weird in a different way. I don't know if I like that as much, but here's the second thing that I noticed. As I was checking my work after completing this, I realized I omitted the 3rd line in this FCC information warning here. Ooh, that is rough. So what we're going to do is we are going to pretend nothing is wrong, and then we are going to look at this every day for the next year of Season 9 and think back to ourselves about how we could have fixed that but then chose not to because we were behind on work already, and sometimes you just have to let one slide. Just kidding! We're not behind on this episode. We are ahead on the production schedule. So we're going to go back in, we're going to rip those top lines out, and we're going to do it again. And we're going to get it right. Time skip! Well, there you have it, folks. You know, it took me maybe 10, 15 minutes at most. And now, it's done right. And it's going to be done right for the next year. Then it's going to go out in the world download for y'all to enjoy in your own homes in the distant future. And it'll be correct then. I am experiencing an immense sensation of pride in my workmanship. And you know why? Because I got the last episode out on time, and I'm getting this episode out on time, and I feel like I'm really just kind of getting things together, you know? I'm not doing these 10-day giant tunnel projects. I'm just like, let's do something simple and do it right. And I'm just so excited. So anyway, we got more to do. Let's go. Time skip. Having completed our label, we still are missing a few of those 119 touches that I'm really looking forward to playing with. I have been trying to find a mangrove swamp or mangrove propagules, and it turns out that XP Crafted says that several hundred blocks directly north of his base is a mangrove. And you know what? He doesn't have the exact coords here. Luckily, I've got my Easter basket with my expeditionary kit and this book here with our Easter egg hunt recommendations. That tells us that XP is at negative 500 positive elite. Okay, negative 500 positive elite. I think we can remember that. Negative 500 positive elite. Okay. Let's go. I figured that the best way to get to XPs was to go down the red tunnel a ways and pop out at the most convenient portal. Probably this one. But then I noticed that my glowing sign was gone that used to say Toad Age Mutant Ninja Totals. And someone replaced it with something that says, this point hitherto known as Toad Turnpike. I love it. I love it so much. We're going to go in here. We're going to get some of the glow ink out of our box. And we are going to totally glow up. I don't know which hermit wrote this. But I love it. And we're keeping it forever. And then we're going to go through this portal here. And hopefully be somewhere near XP Crafted's base. Let's see. So he's at negative 500 and then positive elite. And we're at 1731. Well, we're kind of near positive elite. Okay. This might have been a bad portal to go through. Here is XP Crafted's base, and we are flying north. Is this it? Is this our first mangrove swamp? Whoa! Look at these ghouls! Mad props to whoever designed these ghouls. These are really cool. These propagules will let us plant our own mangrove trees. There's the mangrove roots. Oh, there's the mud. New biome time. We did it. Woo! Thank you again, XP. Now, do I need any special tool to harvest these? Let's try this fork. Hey, it worked. You know, I realized bringing a silk touch thing to collect the leaves might have been helpful. But, you know what? Sometimes the first time you do stuff, you're going to mess it up somehow. So, okay, let's just harvest a few more of these propagules. We can then go back and plant these in our own area. I'm hoping they'll grow anywhere. I hope they're not biome dependent. I actually don't know. Now, I did pack in my kit here some bone meal. Okay, so you can grow these yourself. Good to know. Let's go grab that one real quick. Get down here at the ground level. I love these roots. Are these silk touch only, or can you just chop those? You can just chop them. Ah, very cool. I'm not sure what we'll use those for in upcoming builds, but there's definitely something you could do. Something you could do with those, with the haunted house. Maybe the broken windows we could replace. It would look like they were like boarded up poorly. Can you lay these sideways? Are these directional blocks? Like, if I try to attach to them... Nah, they're always up and down. They're always vertical. Interesting. Okay, that's good to know either way. Good to know either way. Okay. This is very cool. I really like the vibe in here. It definitely feels like a creepy swamp. Like, the other swamps... I mean, the other swamps are creepy too, but they're a lot more open. This is claustrophobic in a way like nature is pressing in on you, right? It's like when the jungle biome was first added to Minecraft. That was the first high-density biome in terms of, like, plants, right? Where you really felt like nature was just all around you and was in control. And here we are. Like, this is a clearing in the context of this biome. Look at this huge clearing. Like, in any other biome, this would be tiny. But yeah, this is very smart. Now, obviously, this season, we've already selected a location for our base. But, you know, when next season rolls around in a year or so, part of me is like, how would I make this a home? Now, granted, we don't know what updates are going to come out of new biomes in the next 12 months anyway. But, yeah. It would be cool to build something in a place like this. Although you're not going to have good eye lines. That's the problem, is anything you build in a dense swamp or jungle has to really stick out of the swamp or jungle. Like, you end up having to build really tall stuff. Otherwise, it's just invisible from the air. But that has a value, too. This is very cool. Okay. Well, now that we've got our first bits of propagules, I don't want to ruin this by harvesting a bunch of mangrove wood or roots here. I want to take those back and grow them on my own, because I want other hermits who come out here to have the same experience I did of walking through this for the first time and just really getting a sense of how it is. So, in the interests of ecological preservation, thank you, Mangrove Swamp, for your propagules. And time skip! We are back near our back box here in our general field where we plant things that don't belong. Should there be bamboo here? No. Should there be chorus fruit here? No. Should there be propagules here? No. But let's go ahead and try planting one anyway. What does this look like? Oh, I love that it looks like a creepy Lovecraftian monster. Like, you could just take these trees and, like, cover them in concrete, and they look like lurching, wretched creatures. Oh, it's like you put some terrifying eyes, maybe a mouth on these. It looks alive, and I love it. So, we've got plenty of room here to plant a few of these. I wonder, what happens if the land isn't level? Do they still grow with the roots like, look, it's like it's stepping up the hill. It looks like the Ents are on the march. This is just fantastic. Okay, I love these trees. But while we're over here, I did promise last episode we were going to get a little bit of plant life down here in our brewing hut. I upgraded these windows. I realized I could use these switches to make them look like a frame, but also to hold the iron doors shut. So our jelly plush, though, should be accompanied by something a little bit more lively. We got a pretty little plant! We got a plant and a jelly plush and windows that actually look out at things now. This space is so much more usable. I am super excited. But you know what we got to do next? We got to figure out how you chop these things down and play with that mangrove wood a little bit. Time skip! From the ground level here, our Elvira's House of Horrors build has pretty good tree coverage all around it. You know, the skyline isn't looking too unbroken. We've got those great trees back there from the shopping district, etc. However, from the skies, let's say that somebody is like, oh, I'm over here shopping at Greens, but I gotta stop by Gigalogs, right? They fly from Greens to Gigalogs here. They do their shopping, and they're like, oh, let's fly back this way. Oh, there's the back of Joe's House of Horrors. Well, there's some, like, day one sugarcane farm and a kind of empty field around a pond. right? This is not HermitCraft 119 level stuff here. So we're just going to clear all of this early sugarcane out. That is a vestige of simpler times. Boom. It's gone. That fork did not help as much as I was hoping. But then around this pond here, I think maybe we plant a few propagules and give them the lichen treatment. Maybe swap in some coral for some of the mangrove and see how that looks kind of mixed in there with the mangrove wood. This is not something I've tried off camera yet, so we're going to kind of learn as we go. So when I think about how big these mangrove trees get, I feel like maybe placing 3 of them or so around this pond, and then ultimately maybe planting some frog posts in here, similar to what we have out front, for frog breeding would be kind of ideal. So let's go ahead and just kind of claim this area by planting these trees around it. Gonna bone meal. We can then bone meal the 3 trees. Dang it. Having bone mealed the 3 trees, let's go ahead and fly out and see what kind of profiles we got. These don't feel as impressive as the other ones we saw. This is a little light, I'm gonna be honest. What happens? Can we do double-decker trees on these? Like, some trees, there's a trick where you come in and you go to the top of one of them, you kind of dig into the leaves a little bit here, right? We dig into the leaves, and we put a dirt down. We put another propagule. Will this grow like this? And like... See, that kind of feels like something. Right? I don't know what it is, but it feels like something. So maybe more is more in this case. Maybe I was wrong to start with 3. Or I was right to start with 3, but I should never stop with 3. Maybe we just really go just wild for the wild update with these mangroves here, surrounding this low-lying pond. And then we use a reductive process later to pull out anything that we need to pull out. And, ooh, it's getting dark. That'll be a good chance for us to get a sense of how spooky this is going to look at night. So flying back from this direction here, okay. It definitely feels like a little grove. We're going to probably have to extend them up here as well, so it doesn't look quite so out of place and clustered. But, and we're going to have to pull those flowers we just put in too. Yeah, extend them this way. Scar joined the game. See, that's why I'm constantly holding on to a little totem, because Scar is quite the menace. Oh, and if we don't greet him, he'll think we're not paying attention. If you don't greet Scar, he knows you're AFK, and then he'll hunt you down and kill you. Okay. So we're just going to kind of keep going with this until it looks right. Ah, there we go. Now that is looking good. That's what I like to see. Let's find out what I lichen see, though. Let's get the lichen in here and really take this one step further. Time skip. I began by spreading some of that lichen onto the mangrove leaves. One thing I discovered is, unlike the other trees, if you hit the plain leaves with the bone meal, they make propagules, whereas the other trees ignore it, right? So I have to be careful to only ever hit the lichen directly. I started applying some of the lichen, though, to the mangrove roots, and I am pretty happy with how that's turning out here. I feel like this is going to look real good in the distance, although until we really get it filled in on the whole, like, bottom of the tree, you know, it's not going to look right. You got to get the whole tree done before you can like step back and appreciate these, or they look wrong. So we are hand removing vines, we are hand removing moss, we are hand removing propagules, but we are making progress. And that's what's important. I'm having fun. That's what's importanter. So let's go ahead, get this kind of done across the board, and then zoom out and see how it looks. Time skip. I don't mean to toot my own horn. Just kidding, I do. Look at the fantastic job I did. I hope you're liking it. I'm liking it too. I have burned through every single bone meal block, every bit of bone meal that I have had the meal to meal. And let me tell you, we have got a lot going on here. It's not perfect though. You know why not? Because what makes these trees great over here isn't just the lichen, but it's the detail work. It's the webs, it's the stone and coral that we mixed in the place of the logs, the basalt, etc., the dripstone. We haven't had the opportunity to put in a full treatment on these yet. This is the rough pass. But I gotta go, folks. I've got PlayOnCon this weekend, one of the most fun things I get to do every year. If you haven't already seen me hosting Minecraft build contest videos there, or like running the table flipping contest or participating in those, you should check those out on YouTube. But basically, I'm gonna have to go, watch 60 people throw a table. So I can't just sit here and replace all of this with coral today. Leave some comments in the YouTube comment section below, though, about what kinds of materials you want to see swapped in. We're definitely going to be adding cobwebs. We're definitely going to be replacing some of the moss with light gray carpets. But in terms of what kinds of stone we should replace these with, my plan is I made enough lichen to cover all of these blocks again by covering all of them in the first place, and then we can like just, boop, shear them off. Boop. Perfect. But anyway, I'm looking forward to y'all's help for that, because I like this a lot. I like the dripstone. I think that's a solid starting place, but I don't know. There might be opportunities there that I'm just not quite seeing yet. So, anyway, you may have noticed that this episode was mid-roll ad-free, and that's thanks to Patreon patron Winnie T. Ford. Thanks, Winnie. In lieu of that mid-roll ad, I will now read a poem of my own devising. I've been reading a lot of haikus this season, but here's a poem that I actually just wrote this last week. I thought I'd share it with y'all. My candles can't burn down anymore. They can't burn anything down these days. They just flicker with a false incandescence, less and less, dimmer and dimmer, as their batteries discharge. I only replace them, the batteries, I mean, when you visit. So, between your visits, each night is dimmer and dimmer, until I am alone in the dark. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.